This is my 2026 Tesla Model 3 long range rear wheel drive. Went with rear wheel drive because it is the most efficient, but in today's video we're going to be going over the vehicle and doing a little walkthrough of it, showing some of the features and other things that it has, because they have updated this vehicle since it's been refreshed in 2024. So starting with the front, you can see we have the first change here, which is that the front emblems and the back emblems are actually blacked out. They're no longer chrome, which looks much better, and I'm really happy they made this change. And if we go down here to the bottom, finally the Model 3 now has a front bumper camera, which is not only nice just to have a front bumper camera when you're parking forward, but it is really nice when it comes to full self-driving, because based on my last Tesla that I had, it didn't have a front bumper camera versus this one that does have it, and it's helped full self-driving drive much smoother. So that is honestly a really nice perk besides just having a front bumper camera in general. Now, most people who are familiar with Teslas know that they have space in the trunk, but for all of you that might be watching this that are new, if I pop the front hood here, instead of having a whole engine compartment like most gas cars do, Teslas have an open space here. This is big enough to fit a carry-on, some extra groceries, things like that that you want to kind of put in here and everything. It's not super deep, but it's, you know, good for what it is. And if you look below here, there is the cap here to put in and fill your windshield wiper fluid. It used to be up there before the refresh, but now they brought it down here, so it's a little bit easier to access. Now, Teslas are a little different than a traditional gas car. When you want to close the front hood, you want to bring it down gently and rest it down there, and then just give it a push down until it clicks into place, just like that. So moving over to the side of the vehicle, I went with the 18-inch Photon wheels. This is what comes stock on the vehicle. I went for this because it was just more efficient. You get the most range out of these tires, and they're overall cheaper to maintain. If you went for the 19-inch Nova wheels, not only are you paying more, but they're less efficient, so you're losing like 20-30 miles of range, something like that. You can check the website and see. But overall, I really like how these wheels look, even though yes, the Nova wheels do look really nice, but I just don't really justify the cost versus efficiency versus how much it costs to replace those wheels if they do break for some reason. Because I have cracked one of the wheels on my past Teslas, and luckily I had the stock wheels and it didn't cost as much as it would if I had gotten the upgraded rims at the time. So then as we move along the vehicle, you can see I went with the white interior. We'll take a closer look at that in a minute, but I did want to show the back over here with the front logo being blacked out. Now the back logo that spells Tesla is also blacked out and everything, and I overall just think this looks much better. Some people like the chrome and everything on the back, but personally I just think this looks better. And of course you have an automatic trunk. Just click the bottom button there and it will open up. Looking at the back trunk here, it's a decent sized space for a sedan sized vehicle. And then there's some side space here as well as another side space there. And then of course, because these cars have no gas tank, there's a little underground area here that gives you extra space, which is pretty nice. Now looking up here, we have the button. You just tap that and it will close all on its own. And while we were just done talking about the space in the trunk, these seats in the back here do go down. You just grab the lever and pull it down, and it gives you extra space in case you need to store something that's longer that you need more space for in the back trunk. Now, unlike the Model Y Premium that has buttons to be able to have these seats go up automatically, these ones are manual. You do have to bring them up yourself, but the seats are very light, so it's really not that bad of a situation. You just throw it up like that, and you're good to go. So now let's move into the back seat. So as soon as you sit down in the back seat and you look up, you will see the mostly all glass roof. Now, even though this glass is tinted for the sun, it still lets in a lot of sunlight and it does heat up the cabin. So I recommend getting some sunshades. I have some, but I left them off for the sake of this video so you guys can see all that. Looking at this pillar up here in the middle, you do have these touch capacitive lights. So you just tap that a little bit brighter and then tap it again to turn it off, as well as some coat hangers or whatever it is you use those hooks for. Looking at the back, even though I got the white interior, the back of the seats here on the front two seats, the driver and the passenger seat, are blacked here. I like the contrast in colors. I think it looks great. The only thing I don't like about these seats are the cubbies back here, these little storage areas. I personally think that these are kind of useless. I mean, you could maybe fit some things in there, but I haven't thought of anything that I would like to store. Plus, it just really is tight there, and like anything you have in there is going to kind of get squished. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you found a use for those and everything. I'm interested to know. And of course, as we move along to the side doors over here, You can see we have a mostly, if you go for the white interior, you get a mostly white panel here on the side. It's a nice kind of leather material. Not sure exactly what it is, but it's some kind of maybe synthetic leather. Let me know in the comments. And you do have your ambient lighting that runs all the way in the back seat. It obviously goes all the way through the front, and then it runs all the way into the back. So one thing I want to note about the back seats is that even though they have holes in them and they're perforated and whatnot, these are actually only heated. It's only the front driver's seat and the front passenger seat that are heated and cooled. So don't be fooled by that. Whether you get the Model 3 or the Model Y, the back seats are only heated, even though it looks like that they are cooled because they are perforated. So something to keep in mind. And then the last thing over here is that this thing comes down and it has your cup holders. So that's pretty much with that. So we'll lift that guy up there. And then of course the main star of the show in the back seat is the center screen. This is really good if you have children or people in the back that you want to entertain. I'll go through the settings here. If we go to the settings, which is pretty cool, you see that there are some settings for Bluetooth devices. So if you have Bluetooth headphones, you can connect it to the back here and watch whatever you want to do, whether you're playing a game or you're streaming some Netflix or YouTube or whatever. You can wear your Bluetooth headphones, and then you'll be able just to hear what you're watching on the back screen, not disturbing anybody in the front. There's also music that you can play through on there. There's also some seat controls. So obviously you can't move the driver's seat for safety reasons, but you can see the seat controls here for the passenger seat. So if you're in the back seat and someone's was in the front seat previously and it's all the way back, you can move it. So if I push forward here, it'll move the seat forward. If I push on the back and everything, it will move it back. So that's another cool feature. And then of course the AC system, like it is in all Teslas, is pretty elaborate. If we just turn it on right here, you'll notice I'll be able to grab this kind of air thing, that display that's on the screen, and I'll be able to move it anywhere I want. I can have it directly point at my face or directly point at my torso. And of course the last thing is you do have USB-Cs that are right there on the bottom for you if you want to charge your phone. And so that's pretty much the back seat. Let's move on to the front seat and check out some of the new things up there. Okay, so now that we're in the front seat, the first notable difference is on the steering wheel. There is now a physical turn stalk. They took that away for a bit, but they brought that back due to popular demand because there were buttons here on the wheel that would allow you to control your turn signals. Most people didn't like that. Now again, this turn stalk is literally just for putting on your turn signal. It has no buttons, nothing like that. The buttons have been moved here for your lights as well as your windshield wipers. And then moving on to this side, we have the voice command buttons and then the camera button. If you push that down, it'll bring your cameras up. And then here is a look at the front bumper camera, which is pretty nice. And then you can just swipe up here and get to your back camera, and then, you know, vice versa, go back and forth. And so here is the center screen. Most people know that Teslas will have a big center screen in the middle here. This is pretty much how it is. Again, you can open up your settings really quick and just go through anything that you want to go with the car and change. It looks kind of intimidating, but trust me, once you go in there and you set your stuff, it's really easy. Everything is just very much laid out for you. You notice there's very little latency with this because that's what you're getting when you buy a Tesla. Is you're paying for the really good software, because when it comes to cars and software, Tesla is certainly in the lead. So moving right below the center screen, I wanted to take a look at the wireless chargers. One notable thing that Tesla did do, which is really nice, is that the wireless chargers are taller now, because in the last design they had, these were a little too short. So if you had a longer phone, like a taller iPhone Pro Max, I think are the taller ones, as well as like some of the tall Samsung Galaxy phones, they wouldn't fit here in the wireless charger. But now that these have been extended and they're taller, they can fit just about any phone in here instead of just the smaller ones. So moving down to the center console, you can just open this like that to have a bunch of extra space down here to throw all your stuff. You can see I've thrown a lot of my things in there already. And then you can just open this to reveal your cup holders, which is pretty nice. You can cover those up if you don't need to use them, and then just push this back in like that to close it. So now the center armrest just lifts like that. It's done by magnets. There are no kind of things for you to pinch to lift it open. And then looking down here, we have the one lone USB-C. You can see I have my wires in there because I usually use this to charge my phone or any other device that I have. I miss the old design because I used to have two USB-Cs that were down in here, but probably they figure most people will use the wireless chargers, which sucks because the wireless chargers honestly are not that great. So definitely one thing to keep in mind is that you only have one USB-C port down here in the back. Again, it is a good USB-C port because I think it has like 65 watts or something, don't quote me on that. So it is good enough to charge a laptop or any other kind of device that might require more charging speeds. And so that is the 2026 Tesla Model 3 long range rear wheel drive, just doing a walkthrough as well as some notable changes they've made to the vehicle since they refreshed it in 2024. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you'd like. And if there are any things that I didn't go over in the video, let me know in the comments down below what you want to know about the vehicle, and I'll definitely get back to you. Till then, everybody, I appreciate it if you made it this far into the video, and I'll see you next time.